Late fall 1992, Wenzhou school outing ended in tragedy that shocked the city. Bus with 40-plus Class 2 students, teachers. Driver lost control returning, plunging into deep roadside reservoir. After rescue, cold numbers hit. Only 4 students lived. The rest were swallowed by dark, murky ice water. However, as the recovery operation concluded, another, deeper and more chilling shadow began to slowly fall over the grieving school. Survivors' shattered memories, non-stop campus oddities, and a handyman's ghastly ordeal weave a local horror legend told for years. Truth unclear. That day was sunny. Kingti and Shiman Cave's autumn views kept the children lingering. On the return trip, the bus was filled with a tired yet content silence. Most of the passengers were dozing off in their seats. No one noticed that Master Liao, the driver with years of experience, who was always known for being steady and reliable, had a face that was gradually turning rigid. As the bus traveled along the reservoir road, the tragedy struck in an instant. A trailing driver's blurry memory says the car never swerved or braked. As if tugged by some force, it suddenly sped straight ahead, smashed through the guardrail, and plunged down into deep water. The immense impact caused the bus to deform instantly as icy water flooded in frantically. Panic, sobs, and dull knocks on glass boiled beneath black water, then quickly sank into total silence. After rescuers arrived, they worked through the night, recovering victims. The bodies were laid out along the shore's levee, a heartbreaking sight indeed. Many reporters and rescue personnel on the scene later revealed privately that the expressions on most of the children's faces were of extraordinary terror, their limbs contorted as if, in their final moments, they had witnessed something far more horrifying than drowning itself. This detail became the starting point for all the eerie rumors. The true eeriness came from the 4 children who survived. One girl, usually the fittest and a strong swimmer, while getting counseling in her hospital bed, again and again kept slipping into intense terror. She haltingly repeated. After she fell in, she held her breath and swam for the light, until a huge, indescribable force tightly clamped her ankle. When she looked back, it was definitely not a panicked classmate or tangled seaweed, but a blurry, pale shadow with terrifying strength. She only managed to break free by kicking desperately, and in the murky depths, more similar shadows seemed to be floating slowly. This description cast an inescapable shroud of mystery over what had been a clear-cut accident. After the tragedy, the school rushed to restore order, but unseen fear was already taking root inside everyone. First anomaly showed up in teaching zone. That empty Class 2. Year 3 room still always had thick moisture on inward-facing glass inside, even on clear, dry days too. Wipe it away, and it would soon be covered again, yet the adjacent classrooms remained completely normal. Subsequently, the janitors cleaning the hallways and the last students to leave after evening study hall began to report something strange. When passing by that closed classroom, they would occasionally hear faint sounds from within, like the friction of a wet corner of clothing dragging across the floor, or the rustle of water-soaked pages being gently turned. Rumors spread across campus. Evening study attendance fell sharply. Then terror peaked when janitor Old Wong faced ordeal after dark in the hallway. On the local 7th night vigil, Old Wong, on watch, made his usual rounds across campus tonight. Near the teaching building, he was stunned. A dim yellow glow seeped from the 2nd floor grade 3. Class 2 classroom window. He thought someone left the light on, grabbed a flashlight, and checked upstairs, on the stairs leading to the 2nd floor hallway. He stepped on wet tracks, a windy, still damp water stain that stretched from the staircase to the corridor, glimmering in the dim yellow light before finally disappearing at the back door of that classroom. Old Wong's heart raced. He tiptoed, held his breath, and pressed an eye to the small glass window in the classroom's back door to watch the lesson. The scene before him terrified him out of his wits. All the fluorescent lights in the classroom were on, brightly illuminating a room full of people. The children whose memorial portraits he had seen at the service were now sitting in their seats. completely drenched. Their hair was plastered to their foreheads, and their school uniforms dripped constantly, forming small puddles at their feet. On the podium, the homeroom teacher Shan, who had also perished, his back equally drenched, was holding a piece of chalk and slowly writing on the blackboard, as if explaining an unfinished problem. The classroom lay under dank, muggy haze, reeking of river fish, dead silent, only the steady drip of water echoing continuously. Old Wang was terrified, unable to scream, and crawled back to the guard room, collapsing limp on the floor, sleepless till dawn. The next day, he reported the horrifying scene to the school administration, only to be severely reprimanded and ordered not to spread superstitious rumors that might cause further panic. However, the matter didn't end there. A few days later, early one morning, teachers and students who arrived early found old Wang on the empty playground. He hung from the hoop. His death looked suspicious. What was even more incomprehensible was that his clothes were soaked through, as if he had just been pulled out of the water, and were still dripping, forming a large puddle on the ground beneath him. However, weather records showed that it had not rained the previous night. Night-locked iron gate between playground and classrooms was undamaged. Its key was held by designated staff. How he got onto the playground and why he died in such a bizarre manner became an eternal mystery. After old Wang died mysteriously, rumors that Class 2, Year 3 was back couldn't be under immense pressure. The school administration took the most direct and helpless measure. The classroom was permanently locked, and the seal placed on it was never broken. Meanwhile, the school set a harsh, unwritten rule. Before 6 p.m. each evening, all staff and students had to leave at once, no exceptions. Time passed. The school was repainted, and students changed each term. But it is said that on continuous rainy nights, if one stands quietly near that building, they might still faintly hear a muffled and orderly reading sound, as if disturbed by water waves, coming from behind a tightly closed window on the second floor, like a class that never ends. And that bus, which never made it back to school, along with the souls on board who never reached their destination, were left behind in that cold autumn. They also remain deep in the memories of countless listeners, becoming a damp and eternal footnote of horror.